At Ecosystems, we spend a lot of time thinking about KPIs or key performance indicators, along with metrics and targets. And this all matters because as you sit down collaboratively with your customer to map out their outcomes, what are they trying to achieve? What are the challenges that they're trying to overcome? And so we map out what are you trying to do? The natural follow on question is how will you know when you get there? So, what are you trying to do? How will you know when you get there? And that's where the KPIs, the metrics and the targets come in, is that's the question of how will you know when you get there? Now, let me give you a couple tips on setting some really robust KPIs and targets as you work with your customers. Number one is oftentimes we find that the KPIs or the metrics are just too vague. There's something like growth, and we like, or maybe we'll make it more specific, say a 3% increase in growth. Now, growth is great. I think we all want growth, and 3% would be great. 5% would be even better. But the question, when you get into something like growth, that target or that metric, I should say, is so broad that what happens is that should the company then grow by 3%, and you say, hey, look, we did it, we grew by 3%, you can easily fall in the trap of the causality debate, right? So there's someone says, yeah, we grew by 3%, but it wasn't because of working with you, it's because of these other reasons. And you just wind up in this circular debate about what actually caused the growth in the first place. So we got to think about making sure that those KPIs are specific enough to, if not eliminate, then at least to diminish the amount of debate around the causal connection between your partnership with the customer and their actual outcome that they achieved. So to do that, the next step is to take those KPIs and break them down almost like in a root cause and say, okay, if growth is what we're trying to achieve, what are the three levers or the three attributes that drive growth? And you drill down, and you may go down one level, even two levels, to a point where you say, okay, that if we can make that happen, that will make this happen, that will make growth happen, and we very specifically are going to help you with that. So drilling down and root causing around the drivers of growth or drivers of cost reduction or drivers of customer engagement, whatever it might be, becomes critical. Third is then once you build out that root cause of the different drivers of that ultimate outcome, you can do what we call a penny exercise. So the penny exercise is simply asking your customers, if I were to give you 100 pennies to distribute across these different root causes according to their importance or priority, how would you distribute them? So it's essentially like a weighted score. So that gives you a sense of where your customers prioritize their time and focus across those root causes, to make sure that you're associated with the ones that are most important to them, the ones that they think are most directly causal or causally linked to that higher level outcome. Fourth is then to make sure that you've achieved collective buy-in across the decision-making group, the buying group, that exercise, that root cause and pennying exercise is in fact accurate. Do they all buy in, or are they all over the place? And use that conversation as an opportunity for alignment, whether it's happening synchronously in a room, virtually, or asynchronously. You want to make sure that everyone on the buying side has at least general agreement that those are the drivers of the ultimate outcome, and these are the ones that matter most. And then finally, number 5 is benchmarking. How might we provide our customers some benchmarks against those more specific outcomes from other companies like them, so they can get a sense of their performance over time, not just relative to a baseline, but also relative to other companies like them? That's a very robust way of thinking about KPIs, about metrics, and about targets, and it will make everything significantly more objective, which ultimately then makes it much more powerful in making your case for how you've helped your customer.